BB851, turn right, heading 180. 14 Papa, turn right 245, report localizer established 27.
It's been a quiet start to the week with no real distinctive developments coming to light in the aviation industry. So with that being said, I thought now would be the perfect time for another installment into the Aviation News Weekly series, as you did all thoroughly enjoy the other one. We begin proceedings with Qatar Airways and the carrier receiving a lifeline from their government in the form of a bailout. The Qatari government gave the airline a US $2 billion fee to help it face the crisis head-on. This is coming just a month after the Dubai government gave Emirates their own bailout, which was also worth a sum of US $2 billion, at least what we were told. This is an amount that the two governments together deemed useful for the survival of the airlines moving forward. For Qatar Airways, their financial situation has not been the most incredible of late, and they join Etihad in the same region, who, as we know, have also been struggling and going through a major restructure plan that was originally set to take 5 years. Qatar Airways, if you will recall, were one of the only carriers during the global pandemic, and I mean the peak of it, so we're talking March, April, May and June, that continued to operate and continue to fly people home during these trying times. Their efforts were highly appreciated by many, as other airlines pulled the plug on certain services, leaving nationals stuck in the country they were travelling in. Meanwhile, over at JetBlue, work has steadily progressed with their London routes that are tentatively going to be starting up next year, and the aircraft that will be powering these routes is also in the works. Their first A321LR, so long range, was revealed to the public towards the end of September with a streamer's tail design that the airline best describes itself with that name. The tail features, as you can see, a ribbon in a number of different blues, my personal favourite colour. JetBlue has said that these colours help represent the Ocean and Edition Jetstream, which of course are fundamental players for these transatlantic services that the airline wishes to conduct. At the moment, the airline is eyeing up the launch of JFK and Boston Logan directly through to London by late 2021 at best, and we could see this grow. It was originally aimed at being earlier, but things have obviously changed with the global pandemic coming into play. So while they aim for late 2021, there's always the chance that this could end up into 2022 instead. It's too hard to predict at this stage. While this is the first A321LR for the airline, they also have the A321XLR, so the extra long range on order, and this was a variant that was revealed last year at the Paris Air Show and garnered a lot of attention and excitement within the industry. Will you be hopping on board one of the JetBlue A321LRs on a transatlantic service? Let me know. Moving on to Delta now, who have had quite the expensive fleet for some time now with countless aircraft types and hundreds of the aircraft types within their fleet. However, one thing is for sure, and that's been the need for the airline to streamline, a word that I've mentioned many times here on the channel. Since the outbreak of the global pandemic, Delta have been actively looking at getting rid of specific types that are aging and are no longer fuel efficient, in favour of welcoming more efficient jets in the future, and to also allow the fuel-efficient jets to thrive. Delta has therefore, at the end of September, as well decided they'd be retiring its Boeing 717-200 aircraft and the remainder of its 767-300ERs by December of 2025. So in 5 years' time, these aircraft will be gone. On top of these, Delta already said that it would be retiring the MD-88s and MD-90s, so really it has felt like the retirements have just not stopped since March. These changes, though, to the Delta fleets are necessary moving forward to save money wherever possible and to ensure that they are efficient, as well as their operations, and can preserve cash wherever it is possible. The last thing they want to be doing is wasting away precious cash on now aircraft that are sadly no longer fuel efficient if they can help it. The global pandemic has given them that excuse. KLM is another airline which is currently going through a major restructuring, and they have submitted their plan in recent weeks to the Netherlands Ministry of Finance. KLM would like in the region of around 3.4 billion euros in loans and so on to help fulfill their operations, pay their staff, and ultimately survive within this tough industry. The KLM chief executive said, "The plan we submitted to the Ministry of Finance today is a condition for obtaining a financial package, making this an important milestone in our recovery." Adding, "The aim is to ensure that KLM survives this crisis and emerges stronger than before. At this moment, even with help from the government, KLM will see 4,500 positions disappear in a restructure that will see the group reassess fundamental areas of the business, like that of finances and their overall strategy. They'll also aim to implement cost-cutting initiatives that will help them move forward as an airline and also more widely as a group. When focusing on their aircraft, KLM will also actively work to implement a more efficient fleet moving forward. This has already been boosted by the immediate retirement of the Queen of the Skies, otherwise known as the Boeing 747 or the Jumbo Jet. They'll also plan on phasing out leased aircraft moving forward to help preserve cash and also save it. Boeing has announced an adjusted outlook for the overall demand within the aviation industry due to the global pandemic. Boeing projected themselves that over the next decade, a whopping 18,350 airplanes will be delivered, and 13,570 of those will be narrow bodies. However, in the second half of the forecast, which for some reference stretches over the next 20 years, we'll see a whopping 43,110 plane deliveries, and that includes 32,270 narrow bodies. It's quite clear to see the major jump here. Boeing has said that the industry will still remain the same in a sense of the very long term, and trends will eventually return. However, this will take time and it will be important to be patient, but for carriers to also stick true to their business models moving forward that got them the success in the first place. History has shown that previous global crises, obviously not to this extent, did result in a sudden surge shortly after, and that is what the Boeing managing director does expect when he went over the future of the global industry. Focusing now on the final topic of the episode, and that's being the Australian aviation scene and Rex, an airline you might not have heard of. It's a regional airline within the country that is known for operating the Saab 340Bs on regional services. Soon though, they'll be adding 6 Boeing 737 aircraft, with the first being delivered on November 1st, so just in a little under a month. Rex wants to use these initial 6 737s to understand if there is demand for the type within the airline. If all was to go according to plan, they would also look at increasing their domestic fleet with more 737s. The goal is to eventually reach a total of 10 737s. The thing is, Rex has not been an airline that's been, say, not present within the Australian aviation sector. In fact, they've been around for quite a period of time. But forever the main players have been the likes of Qantas, Jetstar, Virgin Australia, and the now defunct Tiger Air, with Tiger Air having ceased all operations. There's also Virgin Australia, who have significantly reduced their operations both internationally and domestically, as in recent months they were put into administration and up for sale. For C-Rex, this is a prime opportunity despite the global pandemic ongoing to test the waters. In my opinion, it's an exciting move from the regional carrier and will most definitely heat up the Australian sector, which has long suffered with excruciatingly high prices, but also very little options when it comes to travelling. You've had the main players like Qantas and Jetstar completely taking a hold of the domestic and international markets. If you have any thoughts on any of these stories I mentioned in this Aviation News Weekly, do not hesitate to drop them below. Please continue to stay safe, thank you very much, and I will see you all tomorrow for the next video.